How many of y'all heard, you use your other hand, not your hand that you use.
We're just visiting.
How many of y'all heard what goes on in this house stays in this house?
Amen.
Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
But we know the devil is a lie and the truth ain't in him. What goes on in this house is killing our houses. And so with me, Pastor Chris spoke on it. With Claudine talking about, the familiar spirits. And so we have to overcome. And a lot of people ask me, how did you overcome getting over domestic violence? And I always go to Revelation 12:11, which also, shameless plug, it's my birthday. I overcame by the word of my testimony, the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony, because I love my life, not unto death. And so speaking of that, I wrote a poem in Shattering the Glasshouse. This is called Prelude to a Kiss of Death. And it says, the fear he put in her made her afraid. I will kill you if you ever lead astray. He would do horrible things to her, like punches in the face. It all started mentally. Situations made her question her ability, unable to think sensibly. She thought it was meant to be. All he wanted was to control, fed her promises to have and to hold, get in her brain to fit his perfect mold. Get away from him is what they told, but she was too blind. The abuse was over time. The things he did to her was a crime. One day she will see the sunshine, days of torture diffused by his smiles. Then there comes a child. The abuse stopped for a while. The painful memory stored like a computer file, not capable of walking my shoes, even for a mile. She would drive down to the road of freedom. It was time to get back to where she came from. The precious cargo included, yes, an additional son. But it was okay. We hopped in a car. This time, I'm done. It's unfair to you to see these tears. Time to let go of the fears. Regain my strength this moment to years. Nights before, I thought I would be killed. Repeatedly slammed my head against the mirror, the bathroom mirror. With his hands around my neck, death became clearer. I quietly recited, yea, though I walked through the shadow of the valley of the shadow of death, the song amazingly kept me calm. All his jealousy, anger, and rage took center stage. It was time to leave. This traumatic play, it took a lot of courage for the day she went away. And so, with me, I can, what goes on in this house stays in this house. That was me. That was me across the street from my boyfriend's parents, who happened to be pastors. I'm telling them what's going on, and they're looking at me square in the eye and saying, he loves you. This is not love. That's not what love is. That's why we have to know who the God we serve and what love really is, because it took a while for me to understand that I had to save myself. I had to save my kids. I had to look at life in a totally different way, because it killed me. What goes on in this house stayed in this house, and that's why I had to write Shattering the Glasshouse, to break the cycles of abuse, to break the shame from silence, to break the chains that was carrying me. The familiar spirits, it went with me, even though it was a different face. It was there. And now that I know the signs, and now that I can fight Jezebel, I don't know where Sakita is, now I know the signs of fighting Jezebel and know what it is, and so I can help somebody else know what Jezebel looks like, so they don't have to go through the same road that I did. Because when we go through our testimonies, it's for somebody else. It's not just for us, because somebody needs to hear us. What goes on in this house stays in this house. No, that's the enemy. It can release a thing. It can release somebody from dying. It can save somebody's life. So that's all I wanted to say to you guys, and thank you so much.